Hello, hello, and welcome to another live. And in this one for sure, I hope that you're hearing me in the chat. I hope that you're hearing me in chat, but welcome. Please remember to hit the like button, the share button, and the subscription button. So this is a quick conversation just to talk about, this recent development in the context of Shericka Jackson not contesting the 100 meters at the Paris Olympic Games. All right, bonjour, comment ça va? Hello, how are you doing? I hope that everyone is doing okay. So this comes as, I guess, a big announcement for us in terms of what is happening with Team Jamaica. And we can look at this in a number of ways. All right. So one of the ways that we can look at it is in the sense that Shericka is withdrawing from the 100 meters to put her focus, right, solely on the 200 meters to say, okay, well, she's going for something big in the 200. But for a lot of us, we're looking at the fact that Shericka perhaps is not 100% okay. And so at this point, we're not too sure if she's even going to run the 200. But what I can tell you, there was a conference earlier and she indicated that she's running the 200. All right. So that's what I can share in that context. So again, welcome, Matt Morgan. I see you there. Welcome, guys. Please remember to hit the like button, the share button, and the subscription button as we continue to grow stronger together. For sure, I definitely want to keep you guys updated. And this is something that definitely, we needed to talk about here, in this context. And, the route, well, it has been circulated, just before today, where we're getting an understanding that Shericka Jackson will not be running, that due to injuries, Shericka Jackson is going to pull out of this, 100 meters. And so in that context now, we're trying to kind of put Coach Francis interviews because he has been doing some conversations. And so we're here trying to put that into perspective and to pretty much get a sense of what that means. All right. And so in that context, when Coach Francis was sharing that, Jamaica does not have enough, members for the relay. Now we're kind of getting, oh, this could possibly be what he was talking about. Because, he's not necessarily going to come and hit hard in a straight way, but, you have to weigh his words, carefully because usually they're very loaded. And so in that context, Jamaica again, missing out. And I see Max Morgan there sharing shocking news. And, it all depends. My thing is, if Shericka is okay, then that is good. We can expect something great in the 200 meters. But we know that Gabby, for sure, she has been doing fantastic. And, we also hear about the scheduling in the context of the 100 and the 200 meters. And so this is perhaps telling me that, maybe she's deciding to choose, which, Coach Francis was saying, like, she can decide whatever she wants to do. But we are kind of getting somewhat conflicting views from the coach because, at one point he was sharing that Shericka, is 100%, she's okay, she's ready to run. And then now we're getting a sense that the medical team perhaps might be the one saying, okay, you're not able to do this in terms of the 100 meters. We're not too sure. And so some clarity on that would definitely be good in this context as we move forward. But voices in education community, we have been talking here, and a lot of persons have been sharing that Tia Clayton is going to win this gold medal in Paris. And so is it a case where, Tia is going to handle business? Because a lot of us, we had Shericka Jackson for a medal. Some persons were even saying Shericka is going to win the gold. Like when I talked about the 100, I said, it was Shakari's race to lose. But we have persons here who are pretty much saying that Tia Clayton is going to get the gold medal, and we cannot rule out Tia. If we remember when, I mean, Shelley was perhaps a bit more matured, but when she went on the scene there, I think was it 2008, somewhere there, Olympic Games, no one was expecting that, and she showed up and turned out with a gold medal. So will that be something that we're seeing here? And then we do not want to have, so much pressure and on the young Clayton as she gets, into her game. But I suspect that she's confident. And if you can recall at the national trials, Shericka Jackson shared something about Tia, that she knows that Tia is going to jump out of the blocks very quickly. And so from that, we get a sense that Tia is doing well. And Coach Francis even shared something along the line that if Tia is able to do what is expected of her, we will see better, I guess better than that 10.86 in terms of what we saw from her there at the National Stadium in Jamaica. So again, as Matt Morgan shared there in the chat, somewhat of a shocking news for a lot of persons in this context. And we're wondering, is this going to affect Jamaica's medal, prospects? And we did our count. I haven't gotten the opportunity to get back to that, guys. But for sure, Shericka was in there, but Shericka not being in the 100 meters right now, I don't think it affects the count because it creates that door or that room for another Jamaican. So our understanding is that Shericka Jackson will be replaced by Sasha Lee Forbes. All right, so Sasha Lee is going to come in for Shericka Jackson. All right. All right, so what we're getting to is that, Shericka Jackson revealed that after injury in Hungary, and remember when she kind of pulled up in that race, all right, she and her coach decided she would withdraw from the 100 meters at the 2024 Paris Olympic Games. So apparently this was on the cards. At what point did the J Trays know about this? That's also another question there in my mind. And, when we think about Kemba and that situation where Jamaica might not have enough athletes for the heats, when we think about the 4x100, are they going to go back to the drawing board to get the Erdler there in, something to that effect? What will we see in that context? And so that for sure is something that, we are hoping to get some more information. And so a lot of what we're getting here too is coming from, as I said, Shericka shared at that press conference, in France, earlier today in terms of, this 200 meters. And she said she's going to concentrate on the 200 meters. So what does this mean for Shericka? Does this mean that Shericka Jackson is going to win gold there? Ruren, I know you're here, and I'm wondering if you'd like to come on now and share, your views in this context.
Hello, Natasha. Yes, real sad occasion here. I was really looking forward to Sharika, coming on and doing really, really well in the 100 meters. I am one of the persons who had Sharika to, put a good challenge on Shakara as it relates to the 100 meters. So it's a bit disappointing for me. I wanted, to see the Shakari Sharika showdown in that 100 meters final. And as I was saying last time, it was, Sharika lost that 100 meters at the Olympic, not the Olympic, but the World Championship to Shakari. And, it was it would be a good face off to have, Sharika versus Shakari to see if Shakari can go two in the final of a major event, or Sharika could pull level by, winning the Olympic gold medal. But that would be, well, that is not going to be happening now, and that's kind of sad. But, just going to wish Shericka all the best. Hopefully she can come out, and put all her effort into that 200 meters and do really well. So expecting her to do really well in the 200 meters, and I'm hoping that she stays healthy, because that's the problem with her health. That's the problem, because win, lose or draw, I know Shericka would go out there in that 100 meter and do her best. And it must be something significant why she has decided that she's going to pull out. So just sending my love toward her and just wishing that she recovers soon and do well in that in
Y-
that.
Yeah, so Ruren, before you go, in the context of Tia, so we have heard a lot in that context regarding Tia Clayton and the possibility that she's going to win 10.86. That's the best time, and we saw that in the semis there at the National Stadium in Jamaica. What are your views on this context? Because a lot of supporters on this channel have been saying, Tia is going for the gold, and anything is possible once she makes the 100 meters final. So would love to hear your take on Tia.
Well, I think Tia is the wild card, on the team. I wasn't expecting Tia to be on that 100-meter team there for Jamaica, but she did really well in the trials, and she has been putting in some good time, and I'm just hoping that she will continue to surprise us. So, like as I said on an earlier life, my only concern for her is that the magnitude of the situation. I hope that doesn't get the better of her. But all things being equal, if she goes out there, executes, her best race, she's going to be in contention for a medal. And what else could you ask of a young athlete?
Wonderful. And so, in this context for sure, guys, and if you're in the chat, just let us know. Please remember to hit the like button, the share button, and the subscription button as we continue to grow stronger together. So again, this is just a quick update. If you're just tuning in, Shericka Jackson will not contest the 100 meters there in Paris, all right? And we're being told that this was due to the injury in Hungary. All right, so based on information coming out from TVJ News, Shericka Jackson will be replaced by Sasha Lee Forbes. All right, and so that is what we're talking about in that context, and also in the context of the young Tia Clayton. And is it too much of pressure or an ask of Tia to say, okay, you need to step up, you need to win this one? And so we would definitely love to hear from you. And so just moving away from Shericka a little bit, Ruren, remember earlier, I guess just before the trials, right? Brianna Liston, she stated that she's not going to compete, and I guess due to injuries, and a lot of persons came out, and they were pretty much bashing her, and perhaps because she was running fast times, and we're yet to see, any other Jamaican, female athletes, doing some good times. And so this takes me back to that point, and even to Elaine Thompson era. As I always share, injury is something that is a part. So when we look back now at young Brianna Liston, who is there saying, okay, I am going to take the rest, I'm out for the rest of the season. And now we see Shericka here, pulling out of this 100 meters. What is your take on that in this context, Dorian?
Yes, Natasha, it's so sad that Brian Liston is not able to participate in the Olympic game because of injuries. But it's good for athletes to recognize that they have an injury and get it treated as soon as possible, because you don't want to aggravate that, because that will only impact your recovery time. And I guess that's what Liston it did in terms of protecting herself from getting further injuries. So sad to know that she's not going to be there in Paris either. But you know, let's let's just hope that she will do well whenever she returns. What we want though is that for athletes they should manage their injuries well so that they can give their best whenever they are on track.
Absolutely. And, again, too, with, Liston and others in terms of injuries, we just need to be a little bit more kind, or just be the kinder to the athletes and just understand that this is a part of the game. And in the context of Sharika, I guess some persons are now saying, was the J3s in terms of their selection committee, were they not informed early enough that Shericka Jackson would not be participating? So in the context of Kemba Nelson and all that we have seen unfolded in terms of athletes, and now the question of the 4x100 relays, would we have enough persons? I know that. So if it is that Sharika is not going to be a part of the relay team, then that goes down to Shelly, Tia, Sasha Lee, and Alana Reed, right? And so, is it the case where we are going to see these four athletes in the heats and these four athletes in the final?
Definitely possible, Natasha. And let's hope we have four athletes that can go in to participate because, with less than four, we're out of it. And, based on what we've covered so far, no 4x400 males there. So, we wouldn't want that to happen. But, the organizing group, JTAs, and, how they organize their team, I think they should know how many persons to have as reserves and just to bear certain things in mind. For example, a Sharika got an injury a few weeks ago, so and they should have an idea too that how the athletes are. So you'd have a back of your head that Sharika isn't at her best. So maybe we should have that coverage for them. And I'm not sure what the policy is in terms of reserves, but in a case like that, they should have adequate athletes there to fill the void if something were to happen. And that's a bit sad for me.
Well, unless they're going to go to the hurdler, what's her name? Akira Nugent, the hurdler there, the 100 hurdler, and bring her in on the team. She has been doing fantastic, so I believe she can run a very fast time in the flat event. And so that is just where my mind went in that context. I remember one year, I don't remember where, they brought in Omar McLeod over on the men's side. And so, in this context, I don't know. And we have talked about this whole relay selection and the foolishness that we have seen unfolded with, J trees and selection. And I mean, if it comes down to like cost in terms of trying to bring an athlete in, I am not too sure what's that situation, what's happening, if it is why it is that Jamaicans are suffering in this context. When we think about the context there in France, it being so hot, right? And all that athletes have to endure. Other countries they brought along portable ACs, and this is something that I knew about long enough because France trying to be, I guess, eco-friendly in that context. Their design of the Olympic Village was in that sense, but it's hot like days. It's really hot and humid. That's the information that we're getting here. And so Jamaicans again, they're just not, I guess, prepared, or is it a case where they cannot afford the resources? Other countries got the memo, like they understood the assignment, they got portable ACs. So what's going on with us in that context?
I am not sure, but we have seen blunders in this, way, and others time and time again. And I'm wondering if due diligence isn't being done in terms of, making sure, because we as athletics fans, we support the athletes. We want to see them go out there and do well. But the background staff, I think they have to go out and make sure that where the athletes are staying, they have access to the best possible conditions if we're going to expect the best possible performances. So I'm not sure if the due diligence is being done in the background because we have been seeing, lots of blemishes in the past. And the thing is, it's not a general thing. For example, with the heater, with the heat there, and
AC.
persons bringing in their AC, it shows that persons know the conditions and prepared for them. If we there with the Jamaican team out there without AC units, it means that there was some sort of something that would miss in terms of organizing their stay there. So, a lot has to rest on the Patriot and again
Yeah.
for sure. And the communication, the transparency, we want that from them too. And I forget to add this to the point that I was making earlier. The the fact that the athletes, we don't know exactly what is happening in terms of injuries to them. So, sometimes as supporters, we get a little anxious. So, for example, with a Shericka now, we hear that she's not coming through to participate in the 100 meter. And, for a while, we did not hear what was happening in terms of her injury. So, that could have prepared us a little bit better in terms of understanding what the possibilities are.
Yeah, for sure. And so just to in that context, I really don't know what is happening, but lots that for needs to be done. And again, if you're just tuning in, we're getting further information. So in the context of Shericka here pulling out, she's pretty much saying that a lot of thought went into the decision before withdrawing from the 100 meters. And I'll quote here, and this is from the Jamaica Observer. It's a combination of a lot of stuff. And as I said, coach and I made the decision not to contest the 100 meters. And I think we are pretty happy with that. So that's what Jackson told reporters in France. So when asked about her fitness for the 200 meters, given that her last race in Hungary ended with her limping across the finish line in eighth place, Jackson assured that she is in good shape to compete. Jackson explained that she was not scheduled to participate in any other races following her performance in Hungary earlier this month. And let's go to this quote here. Honestly, I was only supposed to compete in that event. And as coach stated, we only ran a few races in Europe. And I think that that was the only race that all of us were supposed to run. After that, no person who was going to the Olympics had competed. I think I'm pretty good. I'm in pretty good shape and I'm okay. All right. That's what Shericka Jackson said. Regarding the pursuit of a world record in the 200 meters, Jackson stated that it's not her current focus, considering her season's progression. The women's 200-meter heats are scheduled to begin on Sunday, August 4 at 3:55 a.m. Jamaica time. So, Rory, I'm just listening to what Shericka is saying here. She's saying she's in good shape, and I don't know if that good shape will get her to a gold medal. And when pressed about the world record, she's saying that is not her focus at this time, given the season that she's had so far in terms of the progression. So, what are your views on that? Do you think she's ready for a Gabby, a Gabby Thomas that we have seen there looking so well at that London stop there, Diamond League stop, where Gabby, I figure, as I was sharing, was testing her finish. And when we think about the likes of Julian Alfred, that's going to come in and run hard, Mackenzie Long, of the US, like, what are your views on Shericka given this statement?
Well, she based on what you shared just now, she said she's okay, and we have to just trust her words. The fact that she chose to do that 200 meters, I think she is probably thinking, that's her best way or best prospect of winning a gold medal. Because athletes like Shericka, they're going to aim for the highest. So I don't think that she's going to go into that race looking for a silver medal. So I think she's at a place mentally and, in conjunction with her coach, she's at a place where she thinks she has what it takes to go through the rounds and win that 200 meters final. I don't think Shericka sees um, I don't think Shericka sees Gabi as a great threat right now, but Gabi is running well. So all in all, Natasha, what I am saying is that 200 meters race is going to be a classic one for many reasons. As you mentioned, Long, you mentioned Alfred, you mentioned Gabi,
Dina, Asha.
Dina, Asha, with Shericka. If Shericka can come through the rounds and get a good race in that final, I tell you, it's going to be an epic race. So, and looking forward to it. But I kind of I'm getting some confidence from the way she speaks. But I'm keeping my fingers crossed too, because the fact is, the last race that she ran was that 200 meters race in which she got that injury. Will that have a bearing on how she performed in the Olympic Games? We'll just have to wait and see.
You made some great points there, Ruren, and in this context, and I would like to add here that for Sharika, you know, I feel that we know that the 200 meters, that's her pet event, right? That's her favorite. And so perhaps it was a situation where she felt that her body would not be able to do the 100 and the 200, at the Olympic Games. So she was like, you know what? Instead of trying to do, trying to perhaps end up with a silver over here and say a bronze over there, let me just focus on one, get the Olympic gold. And we remember what happened with Sharika there, unfortunately, at the Tokyo Games, where she kind of missed, I guess, was focusing on the screen and, missed that final. And so for her, I guess this is like redemption. And so she wants that so badly for the 200 as opposed to the 100, where she's saying, yes, I could medal, but I feel like I'll stand a better chance in the 200. And in life, we all do that, we try to weigh the pros and the cons and then try to go with the flow in that context in terms of moving forward. So, guys, if you're in the chat, welcome, welcome. Please remember to hit the like button, the share button, and the subscription button. I know persons are here and you're not sharing, but thank you so much for being here and listening. So, Ruren, what are your views on that? That, it's like redemption. She wants to go back to the Olympic Games to show that big stage what she's capable of, given what happened in 2021. And right now, perhaps based on her fitness level, she feels that Dublin will put her at a disadvantage in the 200 meters. So the focus here is to just do it all and done with the 200 meters.
Yes, ma'am. I totally agree with you on that. She weighed it up as she said, and she's going to focus all her efforts into that 200 meters. And I hope that, she'll be able to execute that really well. I think it's a strategic decision for real. And, that would make her feel good, that redemption, knowing that, I came here, I did do this the best, in the past, and I am going to prove to my fans and the whole athletics community that I can do this. So, winning this 200 meters race would be something that is good for her And I think she wants that to, just to have that medal to say, I have gone there, conquered, I did this. That's where the motivation, that's where the drive is coming from. And as you mentioned, it is her pet event. How can I not have a gold medal in my pet event? That doesn't really,
at the Olympic.
uh, yes, at the Olympics, that wouldn't really make that, good of a sense. So I'm thinking that's what she's looking at. I totally agree with you on that one.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, Ruren. So we're going to wrap things up here, guys. And so again, this conversation was just about, sharing, Shericka is out, and we shared some further context and insights into what that could possibly mean. And also bringing Tia Clayton into this conversation. A lot of persons are sharing that Tia will be the one to win the gold medal. And that's definitely something that would love to see here for sure. And so a lot of persons are saying too that perhaps Jamaica will not have, a medal here. But then, you can look at it as I shared earlier in the sense where Shericka being out, it opens up for another Jamaican to possibly, get onto the podium. And so that too is something that we can look at. And then we talked about the fact that Shericka not being there could be something that we need to worry about in the context of her injury. And we also discussed the fact that she could be, because of the 200 being her favorite of the two, she's selecting that to just focus on that and trying to redeem herself given what happened at the last Olympic Games in Tokyo. So again, we'd love to thank you so much for coming over and for keeping this space a safe one. And we'll be back. So please ensure that you hit the subscription button and you turn on your post notification bell. So tap the bell and select all so that you do not miss any updates from this channel. Thank you so much. And again, remember to stick and stay with us. We'll be here for all the ups and downs, the excitements, the highs and the lows as we go through this Olympic, games. All right. And so we're here, track and field. Will get on its way on the 2nd, this Friday. And so we'll be here for that. All right, guys. So bye for now. Take care. Blessings and love. And remember to put God first. All right. In whatever it is that you're doing, and exercise self-care. Thank you so much. And bye for now. See you in the next live. Thanks, Ruren, for sharing and for joining us.